there's all these things that are just horrific to witness. At the same time, you're there to tell a story, and the story is the horror of what's happening there. And so part of your brain is looking at it as a storyteller, and you need pictures, and you need sound, and you need subjects. And so, as horrible and vulture-like as it sounds, part of your brain is walking down the aisles of an emergency hall, emergency room, looking for a child who's going to die, and that's part of what the job is, and it's awful. And you find a child who, this child. I mean, this child has a few hours to live, and so that becomes the person you start to tell the story about, and and you watch the cameraman take the pictures and take the video, and you want to make sure that the sound is right and that you're hearing the rattle of the child's labored breathing, and you hear the last gasp of breath that he's taking. And all of this is sickening, and all of it is like you feel like a vulture, and you're like the angel of death descending upon a place and looking for somebody who's going to die, and it's awful. And so it's very strange. In your head, these conflicting things are going on. I mean, you're seeing this as a human being and feel horrible for being there, and this is the worst possible moment in this parent's life, and you don't want to intrude, and yet you're there to tell that story. And by you tell yourself, well, by telling this story, other people will learn about it and donate money or help, and other children will be helped, and all that may be true. It doesn't make it feel any better in that moment. So I always find it to this day interesting, all those things that go on in your mind. And I think the only thing that lets me sleep at night about it is that at least I feel that awkwardness and that horror at doing this, because there's a lot of people I know, I think there's a lot of people who've been doing it for a long time who no longer feel that awkwardness and are like, all right, let's get the shot. Okay, we got the shot, and and it's probably unfair though. I'm not, vast majority of people I know are incredibly moved by something, but I also know some people who aren't, and to me at least, I don't know, I that's one of the conflicts of doing what I do, because it's it feels awful at times.
If you didn't feel that, do you think you would stop?
If I didn't feel that, I should stop. Yeah, I think if somebody doesn't feel that, they have no business being there. I mean, I think you're there. You're in a sacred place where you're privileged to bear witness to the final moments of somebody's life. You're being allowed into the worst possible grief for a family, and you have their permission to be there, and you've asked them. But if you don't, yeah, I absolutely think. And there have been times, look, that there was a time in Rwanda in '94 during the genocide, where I found myself taking pictures on my own camera of some people I found on the side of the road who had died and, had been out there. I'm not sure for how long, but there was what I think was a little girl, and the skin had peeled off her hand, and it had peeled off halfway, and it looked like when you remove a glove halfway. And I thought, wow, that's really interesting how the skin is peeled off this person's hand. It looks like a glove. I remember taking pictures of the skin that had peeled off the hand, and somebody I was with took a photograph of me. I think he was a photographer for Newsweek who I happened to be traveling with, because in war zones a lot of times you hook up with other people just for safety and logistics. And he took a picture of me and he sent it to me later, and he was like, this is for, you should look at this, you should kind of remember this moment. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I wasn't viewing that person as a person, I was viewing them as a body, and how interesting it is that the skin is peeling off. And that moment I remember thinking, I need to stop doing this for a while. And I did, I stopped for a while, and and it's something, I have the picture, I have it on my bulletin board at work.